damn it. But back home, my parents' relationship just totally began to sour because my mother became radical and she started going to college. And she was using big words against my father. And Mops, he just wouldn't let his tenement dream die. So our house was literally like this big construction site. We had holes and plaster and tenants everywhere. And then his restaurant secret just started to eat at him. And my father became evil. And then one night, very, very, very late, my mother comes home, and of course she's unnaturally happy. And my mother's like, I love the nightlife, I love to boogie, said, ooh, ooh, you know everybody, ooh, ooh, come on, people tell me, ooh. And my father becomes the Grinch who stole Christmas. Who said you could sing that thing that you sing? I am the king, and nothing is what you should sing, sing, sing. And you're late. That I do not appreciate. Do we make to wait? I hate, hate, hate. Ay, Fausto, you're being so Dr. Seussian. And besides, lateness. Lateness is such an amorphous and bourgeois concept, okay? What about the day before you got here at midnight, disco queen? What the hell was that about, huh? Ay, Fausto, do you see how hard I work for you? I'm practically a slave. Lincoln, emancipate me, break my shackles. Woman, have you seen your children's lately? Huh? John is all sickly looking and stupid. And Poochie's all fat and ugly. Ay, Fausto, please. Poochie will still be fat and ugly no matter what time of the day I got home, okay? So don't talk down to me, okay? Because I'm not about reproduction anymore. I'm about meat production. Woman, don't make me have to teach you what respect is, okay? Ay, Fausto, please. Like a dishwasher could teach me anything. Exactly. Ooh, you're gonna get it, woman. Just keep it down, because I don't want to traumatize the children, okay? Okay, Fausto, okay. No more talking. Click. Wait. Quick. Who am I?
Look, you stumbled onto this channel. You're probably not happy about it. Well, I got news for you. The guy whose show you're about to hear is even less happy about it. Grab a seat, kick back, smoke a joint, drink something, because the buzz will only help. Welcome to the Jay Thomas Show.
Coming to you from Hollywood. I've worked in our studios in Hollywood before, but these are these magnificent, brand new, highly, shiny electronic studios with clocks that have the right time and everything. It's absolutely crazy. It's really beautiful. Do I sound any differently? Does it,
Do you want to know the truth, or
what? The signal's bad.
You're very staticky when you're talking.
I'm very staticky?
You were in that intro, yeah.
Really?
Well, now it seems like it's gotten better, but you were staticky, yeah. Steve?
Yes.
Thank you.
Wait a second, but that's not me.
It's the shiny new studios. State-of-the-art equipment.
Right, was it because I yelled or something?
Yeah, when you get excited, it goes...
All right, I'll lower it.
All
Hello,
right, good.
Hey, how's that?
Hey, that sounds good.
I will say this, that whenever I was working ever, I have peaked every single, VU meter ever. Ever. And one time I was doing a TV show and the set had cleared, and I'm walking downstairs, and there was a bunch of guys, like set designers and guys like that. And so all of a sudden a guy comes all the way from the very top of the television show. And he comes over to me and he says, "Hey, man, I just got to tell you something." Wow. Like that. I went, "Wow. Thank you." He goes, You are the best out of this entire cast. I said, "Oh, yeah, I can hear everything you say." That's what he meant. That was his compliment. It wasn't about the acting or anything. He could hear me. That was it. And I said, loudest. I was the loudest. That's right. And when I was born, after Dr. Sauer delivered me, who died of a heart attack the next day, and my mother never let me forget. I don't know why she kept telling me that. "Oh my God, John, you were Dr. Sauer brought you into the world. He dropped dead of a heart attack the very next day." Why would your mother tell you that? And I thought sour was spelled S-O-U-R, right? Like you had a sour disposition. It was S-A-U, E-R. That's how so yeah, that's my mother would tell me that all the time. And according to everybody that knew me, when I was in the the maternity ward there, I was screaming and yelling, and just they couldn't shut me up. And all the other babies woke up, and as soon as they were all screaming and yelling, I went sound asleep.
Wow, so not much has changed, huh?
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very odd. Very odd. Sometimes you wonder why people say things to you. I got an email today at jthomasshow at Gmail, and it's from Greg, the truck driver. And Greg happily said, "Hey, I think your show's really great, and it's great that nobody I ever met has ever listened to you, because I can take all of the things that you say and use them as if they're my own." That's what he said to me. No, that's not a compliment. That's hurtful.
No, that's not true. I mean, that's a form of flattery that he's going to, copy everything about you.
That no one he's ever met has ever heard me. You know what I sent him back?
But that's just, you can't even listen to that. You just have to take the flattery of that he's going to use all of your material because he thinks you're that good of, an entertainer.
Imitation
I
is the
sent
biggest
that.
form of flattery.
That's right.
I sent that letter immediately. I sent that letter immediately to SiriusXM, their promotion department, and I received the nicest form letter you've ever seen.
We know what those look like around here.
By the way, Steve Gonzalez, I don't know why you sent me this either, that Hitler had a small penis.
No shit, really?
Yeah,
Couldn't tell by the overcompensation?
Well, yeah.
Jay or Hitler?
No. When you have a small penis, you do overcompensate. Apparently, I don't. My sister-in-law dated a guy that was a DJ, like a kind of a NPR jazzy kind of local DJ kind of, picks the music for the movies and all that. So one night I heard my wife and my sister-in-law talking, and I heard something like she couldn't feel him. She couldn't feel him. And I kept listening, and then later I get my wife, I go, "What does that mean?" She goes, "She can't feel him inside of her."
That's a damn shame.
It was a pencil dick, right? Poor bastard.
It wasn't a hallway vagina?
No, it was a pencil dick. He couldn't be felt. And after she broke up with him, a few months had passed. Now, not everybody appreciates my either sense of humor or the way I console you. And she was feeling kind of down about being single or whatever. And it was Thanksgiving also. And I said, "You know what? It's a lot better than being with that pencil dick." And that was a bad thing to say. That was apparently a secret of some sort, and I was, in trouble. What's that? Oh, thank you. Oh, look, hey, wait a minute. They just gave me a beer. I got a Heineken.
Nice.
Wow, thank you.
I feel like you probably have like a horse cock because you drove around in one of those little bugs.
Whoa,
right?
Yeah, baby.
Right? Don't you feel like, you don't care about the car you're driving, so you must have a horse cock.
Nope, yep, nope, and yep.
Oh, I remember him driving us around in a giant truck.
That wasn't his.
Okay.
That was rental.
The rental.
That was
It was a rental.
It was an enterprise.
And that's because when I go to the rental place, I get the smallest, cheapest car you can get, and they will upgrade me. Do you remember the time they upgraded me to the church van that I drove around?
Yes.
And then the church people came in later that night, and I was so excited I didn't want to return the van because I was picking people up and everything else. It's funny you mentioned the car, because when I was a kid, my next door neighbor, this Tita that I really liked, and her sister was Mina, then there was Weena, and the daddy was Honey, and I was crazy about her. Yeah, they had these weird names.
And hoes? Who are these people?
Well, no, they were very nice people, I'm sure. But then the little girl had Tourette's, like undiagnosed Tourette's. I've told you that story where she would curse, and I would, tell my mother. Of course, I was about 12 or 13. So then one thing leads to another, and everybody gets their license at like 15 years old, and my parents were like, weren't going to let me get a license, or I got a learner permit and all of that. But I had really strict parents, and they weren't going to let me drive a car. So she starts going out with a guy who's maybe 16 or 17, and he would pull up and pick her up in this convertible or something. And I was crazy about her. And, she liked this guy with the car. And that was kind of it. And from that moment on, and some other women went out with guys because of their cars, too. From that moment on, I decided that I would never, ever have a good car. Ever. Mm-hmm. So that women would like me for me.
It's a good lesson.
And, I hate people with hot cars and stuff. I hate them. Maseratis. I mean, I don't like being in L.A.
I'm the same way. I don't care about any of that. My dad was this is a car, gets you from A to B. My first car was blue with a pink pinstripe. He didn't care. He said, drive it. I don't care.
Blue with a pink pinstripe?
It was powdered blue and this weird pink racing stripe. I got it from a lot. I was 16 years old. He wasn't going to give me a good car. It was horrific looking. He didn't care. He drove it first and then he gave it to me.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
No, I know, but I'm saying it never in our family has a car been a thing. It's just a piece of machinery that gets you from A to B.
Well, there were rich kids in my high school, and their parents would give them, a Cadillac or something or other, I remember a buddy of mine had a midnight blue Cadillac, and, he was, wealthy. They owned a hotel for our graduation. We all stayed for free at his parents' hotel. And
is this Bubby? Are you talking about Bubby?
No, Bubby was really rich, too. I didn't know Bubby. He was a year ahead of me. One day, a fire engine red, I want to say it was a Corvette, and it pulls up in the front of the school, and he gets in it, and it was a big deal. And then I think it was stolen like 6 months later or something and completely destroyed or whatever. So I was talking to Bubby. We weren't friends in high school. I found him to be kind of, stuck up. He was a famous gymnast and a famous cheerleader. And when he went to LSU, he was the guy, he would flip-flop all the way across the field as the football team ran out. And that's a big deal, except when you're in the stands and you knew the guy from high school, and I go, what a fucking fruit. Flipping. And then he would flip the women and catch the women. But then he was also this gymnast and this swimmer guy, right? So after I met him, I said, man, I'll never forget the day that you got that red Corvette. I mean, that was expensive. It was unbelievable. Why did your dad do that? He goes, because he loved me. Ugh. That was his answer.
Poor bastard.
Because he loved me.
Doesn't really know what love is.
Well, he loved me. My dad would work for this really rich guy who would date like movie stars, and then he'd give my dad the car, and my dad would say, Marilyn Monroe sat there. So I would get all my friends over, and I'd open the passenger side, and I'd go, Marilyn Monroe's ass was right there, and guys would come over, and we'd feel the seat and everything else. No wonder I'm so warped. Sexually. Steve, what else did Hitler have? You find these leaders. I was saying this about, I watched a documentary on Nixon the other night. I mean, I was around when he was, being elected president. Why would anybody have voted for him? He was so weird and strange. I find Rubio weird and strange. When you look at Donald Trump's hair, when you look at Hillary Clinton, when you look at Cruz, these aren't people that we would even be friends with for a minute.
You forgot Bush, all of them.
Well, yeah, but George W. could barely talk, and he was elected twice. They don't have that rah-rah, leader thing going, they're like Eisenhower was a general, and I think Mussolini had been a general or whatever. But Hitler had a little penis, and did he only have one testicle, Steve? Is that the other thing that he had?
He had an undescended testicle. He also
never dropped?
It never dropped. He also had a rare condition called penile hypothalamus.
I've heard of that.
In which the urethra on the opens up on the underside of the penis.
Yo, wow. Wait a second. So when he pees and when he comes, it squirts out like a fountain pen.
Downward, I guess.
Well, that's, a fountain
no wonder
pen, the
he
old
was
fountain
so
pen.
angry.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Could shoot himself.
Unbelievable. And he always had those big open, remember the cars they had? He had giant cars driving him around.
Yeah.
And those long black leather, jackets. Do you know who
He
made
liked the wind in his mustache.
You know who made all of the uniforms, all of the jackets, everything for the Third Reich? Do you know?
No, who?
Hugo Boss.
Wow. Oh, I
That's
did know
right.
that. I learned that
Every
when I worked
single
on Cosmo.
And the Volkswagen, which meant the people's car, right? That was his invention, a people's car. And then all of these pharmaceutical...
Catching fire back then, too.
One of the doors doesn't work ever, or the window.
It was air-cooled, right? And they used it in the desert, but they also used it, in Germany. But it was, German engineering that thought of this air-cooled engine, I guess. The tanks were kind of cool also. They blew the shit out of it. I mean, if they had the industrial power that we had, we'd be like, man in the high castle. We'd be speaking German right now. Your name would be Heidi, Christina. Or it might be Christina with a K. And Steve, you would be Stefan. And I, Steve, would have been hung in my early 20s and you'd have never met me. You talked back to the Führer? I'd have made some stupid, some dumb, Führer joke. What does Führer mean? The father or something like that? And you have to like a Sieg Heil or something,
It's like leader.
Leader.
Lord, yeah.
Well, we'd have worn lederhosen. I'll let those sit there every now and again, Steve. Well, believe it or not, a lot of folks had been
leader.
There you go.
A ruthless lederhosen. A lot of people were calling the police. They weren't calling the police. They were contacting Uber, saying that this crazy guy, Jason Dalton, was acting like a maniac behind the wheel an hour before the cops said he started the shooting spree. A passenger, Matt Mellon, said that he called the cops and then he complained to Uber that this guy was speeding, driving on lawns, and swerving up on the concrete. And he does everything, and Uber said they would not take actions against bad driving without speaking to the driver, who would not return their phone calls because, and this is Uber's quote, they didn't want to overreact to one piece of feedback. So they were afraid. Do you have that woman from Miami, that doctor who tore the Uber car up? See, Uber thinks that there are people out there that are trying to get them. And I guess not every now and again, but they will have an incidence of these people that were in the car, and they cause all kind of shit. And so they were thinking that whoever was saying this about this driver was just a person trying to get a driver that they were angry at in trouble. Do we have the woman from Miami? She's a doctor in that area. And I'd like to know what these people are taking, or what the hell drives them to this. Do you have it, Steve?
Pulling it up.
Yeah. She goes completely berserk and gets all the guy's papers.
Press charges.
Can you call 911, please? She's getting
Yeah,
wild.
call 911. Oh, yeah. Let him go.
Call 911. Call 911.
Your shirt and go home. Oh.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, get some help.
Seriously? Call 911.
Seriously?
Angie, look, there's a go get a cop from there. There's a go get a cop from there.
For real?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's trying to get away from her. She won't let go.
Yeah.
There's someone there.
Seriously? I have a friend like this. Literally? Seriously?
You don't know who to talk to.
so are they waiting around for the cops? And
Because every time he lets her go, she like jumps back in his car. Like, hey, jump forward. She jumped here. She jumped forward.
Here we go. Is there a halal stand nearby?
No, but she's pulling stuff out of his car and throwing crap all over the place.
Walk in the car. I won't walk in. Yeah.
She's trying to shift the car, but can't for the passengers.
Where is this? Is this
Miami.
the Midwest? Oh,
Miami.
sounds like she's from the Midwest.
Yeah. No.
Get the
Wow.
fuck in the car.
Does anybody know what her complaint is?
In the car. Get the fuck in the
What's her complaint?
Is it spring break? What's going on? Why?
No, she's
a doctor.
She's like a resident, and she was just drunk and she needed an Uber, but she was being a bitch and started getting unruly.
Right.
And he was like, "You got to cut this out," and then she flipped out on him, so he pulled over and said, "You need to get out."
fuck I want.
What sort of doctor she is? Huh? Tonight on Dr. Bitch.
It even says once she was in handcuffs, she tried to kick some of the police officers on the
Really?
I love walking past
And
stuff
once
like
in the police
this.
car, she started crying, apologizing, and claiming that she would lose her medical license. She claims to be a neurologist.
Christina.
Can you imagine showing up for your appointment the next day? So, saw you on YouTube.
I'm a 5-foot girl that weighs 100 pounds.
And I fix
I'm getting
people.
really, belligerent right now, so.
She understands what belligerent means.
Well, the Uber people are saying that they do get complaints from passengers because they're having a problem with the driver, and they have found that most of them are not. They don't warrant to be, a 911 call. But Uber now says even though they only take actions over a bad driving after speaking to the driver, they're going to change that policy. They're going to get the shit suit out of them by the families of these people that were murdered, because they could have stopped the whole thing by just heeding this woman's warning. An Uber spokesman said that this guy Mellon's complaint fell into that back bucket. I don't know what that is. The back bucket?
Bucket? Is that a saying that we...
I had never heard of that one. Did you see that movie, The Bucket List? I didn't see that. Is there a back bucket in there? I don't know. Maybe we can, this is his name is Matt Mellon, Mellen. Maybe we can find him, tell him we won't make fun, but I'd like to hear what he thought, because the guy he was turning in, had a weapon, was sitting there with a gun, and he could have just turned around. What's funny is they think he didn't shoot anybody in the car because he didn't want to get any blood on the vehicle. And then he was totally calm when they arrested him. And they show him here with his wife, Carol, and he's got 2 little kids, a little boy and a little girl. Man, oh man, and this isn't a gun thing. He liked guns and he had guns. This is a mental thing. He also passed a background.
That's what they say about all the white guys.
That's to say about all the white guys.
Yeah, whenever there's a shooting of some sort, it's always that it's a mental disability first. That's what they always assume.
And what is it for the black people and Asians?
They're
a good
thugs.
time? They're thugs.
Yes. Hoodlums.
Hoodlums.
With hoods on their heads.
Right. And every
Not
white
those
guy
other
that
hoods,
kills is a white guy that kills is a manic depressive. That's what that.
Yes.
I see. Wow. What about Asians? Everything for Asians that maybe
Do
they
Asians, do we know many Asians that go on mass killings? I don't even...
Every Muslim is a terrorist. Every Muslim is a terrorist.
That's what they say, yep. Every time
Yeah.
that happens, it's a terrorist act.
every black person or a Hispanic person is a thug, and then every white guy that kills is mentally deranged.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. And every white guy was quiet, but liked guns. I like generalizations. I mean, that's why people like Donald Trump so much, because the world is starving for the generalizations that they've been, that we lived on. There is a group right now that, these PACs, these political action committees. So you can raise hundreds of millions of dollars and you can run ads as long as you are not backing a candidate, which is total, bullshit. But, certainly, they're going to back a group of individuals that they, believe in. So there is a group now, their name of the Rickards, CKERTS, or the Ricketts. That'd be a terrible name to have, Ricketts. And they have been running ads against Donald Trump. And apparently he knows who they are or whatever. And he has said to them, be careful. I'm not kidding you. I had the name right here. Where is it? It's Rickards? Yeah, they're where is it? 1, 2, 3. We're at 1, 2, 3. Oh, RICKETTS, the Ricketts family. Steve, owner of the Chicago Cubs.
Oh.
Marlene Ricketts, wife of the TD Ameritrade founder, Joe Ricketts, has given $3 million to an Our Principles PAC that attacks Trump on abortion, gun control, and health care. I don't know what side they're coming from. But now he says they better be careful because they have a lot to hide. And people love that when he does it. Because that's what we want to do. Someone says something to you and you go, oh, yeah? Well, if I were you, I would be careful. Because I know you have a lot to hide. Like that. And in court, they hit the gavel and they go, order in the court, and that's speculation. Yeah, people enjoy that. They absolutely don't you miss generalizations, Steve, like the ones that Christina just gave, those horrifying, that was profiling, of course, and she doesn't feel that way. We're just doing
Speaking
it.
of Virginia
we're just
Tech,
doing it to show you.
Virginia Tech was an Asian shooter. Just because I didn't remember. Thanks for people that called in and said it. That he killed 32, wounded 17, committed suicide afterwards.
Shit.
And I believe they said it was mental.
Well, now the other thing is the Asian shooters are always getting a degree in some sort of neurobiology or something, right? They're always geniuses.
It's another generalization.
Yes. It's because most of them wear glasses. I've never met a really dumb person that wears glasses all the time.
What about me?
You're not dumb.
Well, I've got common sense, but book smart.
Pretty sure I can turn around and point out a couple from where
Really? Yeah. You mean you could just turn in your chair right there in New York and point out some people with glasses that are idiots right there in your building?
In the studio over here, in the studio behind me.
What's the murderer's name down in Casey Anthony wears glasses, right?
Yep.
She wears glasses. Does the woman in Arizona wear glasses too? What's her name? The other murderess, whatever. That
Arias?
Yeah. Does she wear glasses?
I don't remember. Let me look.
Something really isn't. It's really weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she wears glasses. There's something really hot by women with glasses who are attractive. There is a hot thing. It's do you wear? It's a hot thing. What is that?
Well, Jodi Arias looks much hotter with glasses than without. She looks kind of cross-eyed without.
But the glasses that they gave her during that trial, those were horrendous.
That's like hot librarian.
No, during the trial wasn't. There was like
looking at the one picture
off the really, 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 really cheap rack at Cohen's Fashion Optical.
You see, only women would know where a blouse or glasses or something comes from. We don't know any of that. Everything to me looks like Foster Grants. Everything. We need an Uber driver. Let's go to Las Vegas, Nevada, and let's go to Sin City Artie. Sin City Artie, are you in a Uber car at this moment with that kind of Nazi-looking black U that you guys have emblazoned on your windshield?
Yeah. I have it right in the windshield.
Doesn't it look a little kind of fascist to you?
It's very, very Aryan.
It is. It looks like they've taken a swastika and just made a horseshoe out of it.
Well, here's the funny part, Jay. When I first got in this, I thought it was a German company. You look it up, the guy that invented it went to the high school right next to mine in the San Fernando Valley, from Granada Hills High School.
Uber just means the best, high.
Yeah.
You know, like Uber surgeon or Uber attorney. So now, have you had women scream and yell at you and tear your car up like we've been hearing people do?
All right, I'm in Vegas. I'm retired. I start at 9, 10 o'clock at night. I usually come downtown where I am right now here to have lunch in the Fremont East District. Yeah. And I get people, and the worst, absolute worst, are drunk women. The young women are crazy, and the older ones are insane. I had a group of them last night from Australia. And the nicer you are to them, the meaner they get.
Wow.
It's brutal. Brutal. And,
I believe it.
And I'm real good at this stuff. I give little tours. I go around. I go, hey, that's where, Drew Carey used to work in that Denny's by the Stratosphere and this and that. And I tell all these tales. And half the time they, don't even give me my 5 points that I need on the phone. They'll give me a 1 or a 2.
Really? Now, what do you think it is? No, wait a second. What do you think it is? Are you overbearing or something? Because it sounds like to me, I would give you what are the points? Is that the tip or is that your compliment level?
You rate the ride, and they rate you. So if there's probably a problem, Uber can look and see if I give somebody a 1, or they get a 1, I've given them a 5. They go, something's wrong there.
Wait a minute. You give the person that rented your car for that time or whatever, you grade them?
Correct. There's 1 to 5 stars on the screen.
Wait a second. I get in the Uber car. I have paid with my credit card. I've put my tip in there, everything else. You drive me from the airport to a... But wait a minute. And you fucking grade my ass? What is that about?
Well, it kind of protects me in regards that if you're a real dick, I'm going to put you down as a 1. If you're really...
What about if you just sit there and keep your mouth shut and just, use you as a carriage? I don't want to be bothered when I get picked up, okay? I don't want I don't want any conversation. I don't care about your family, nothing.
That's fine. That's fine, then I won't say anything. I'll be pissed inside because I really want to give everybody a good time.
Well, I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all of that. I'm going to a hotel. I'm going to play poker. I'm going up to a private room or something. I've seen Vegas, okay? I don't need a yapper.
I really think you're a dick and I shut up.
But do you give me a 1?
No, if you're kind of cool about it, I'll just give you a 4 or 5. But
have you ever had anybody blow a fart back there that escaped by accident?
I had some guys from Australia about 3 weeks ago. I can hold 7. I have an SUV.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they ate downtown. I think they ate at a Hindu place or something. But man, that fart was the smelly. And they're all laughing, going, they're all drunk, and I'm ready to throw up. It's like 3 in the morning, and I mean, it is really bad.
Now, you've taken, you've mentioned 2 different groups, both Australian, the hoary, drunken Australian women, and now the farting, Hindu-eating Australian men. And, I hate Australians because they've come over and taken our jobs as actors and all that. What's weird is why have you chosen Australia? You've opened the door to a generalization. You really have.
Hey, I've had 562 rides. I get them from all over the world that are idiots. There's a lot of locals, too. But last night I actually had an Australian. I said, where do you live in Australia? He goes, I live in Sylmar, out in the valley. I'm a stunt man. There you go.
Wow. So yesterday I was driving around and there was a radio show on and I had to run in to meet some people and I think it's called Fast Forward or God damn it, it's on the public radio station in LA in Santa Monica, and the next guest that I couldn't wait for was a linguist who was going to tell the announcer why Australian and British actors get Americans jobs. And I couldn't sit and wait for it. I got to find out. I got to try and get that person, Christina. I mean, I started beating on the steering wheel. I was already late. So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Artie. Thank you.
Good to talk to you.
Right. So that's a guy that's stolen all of the people, the Sikhs, jobs who drive cabs in Las Vegas. I mean, if you paid all kind of money for your, like your thing in New York, that medallion, I mean, I'd be pissed too. Because they don't have to do anything. They're just contractors. That's all.
It's a better service, though.
It is. I agree. It is. A woman went into Dan Nelson's office. He's an attorney there in New York City. And she accused him of trying to rape her. They met at a bar, and he said he wasn't expecting to get lucky. And so he said that he was pretty boozed up. You know this story, Steve and Christina?
I've not heard this.
They take you up to the thing. I'm saying his name, Dan Nelson. And the woman has accused him of trying to rape her on his office bed. His defense is...
Office bed?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys with office beds. You didn't know that? Oh, yeah.
No.
And they...
How would I ever know that?
The real reason for them, or the supposed reason is that they work late on, whatever, and they sleep in their office. I know a couple of guys that were divorce attorneys, and they always had beds in their offices. And they always said that, a few of their clients would always screw them, the women, anyway. He has testified that he met the accuser at Bull McCabe's bar in the East Village. And they talked, and he drunkenly texted another 10 women while he was sitting with her. Finally, they go up to his offices at the law firm Nelson and McCullough, which I'm looking at here on the arrest report, or actually the complaint. And his conference room is equipped with a $5,732 Murphy bed.
Okay.
He couldn't get it up.
What, his penis or his bed?
Both of them had trouble with the bed. He couldn't get the bed to go down, couldn't get his dick to go up. She mocked his sexual dysfunction, and they tried to have sex again. She said to me, "Is there a problem?" And I got upset, he told the jurors. I thought she was taunting me because I couldn't get an erection. Nelson said that he hadn't expected to get lucky that night and didn't take his Viagra, which cops later found in his pocket, unchewed. And he's an intellectual property attorney. It says he makes $50,000 a month and has a $150,000 Aston Martin convertible. Ooh. Thank you, with a dick that doesn't work. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's like the best callback we've ever had.
Another great generalization. You have one of these $150,000 cars, and you've got a Hitler dick on you. Congratulations, Hitler dick. Hitler dick.
Oh, wait, hold on. After bragging about his $35,000 watch. That's another thing, another overcompensation.
Well, anyway, he said he angrily grabbed her arm and her hair and pushed her toward the door. At first, she wouldn't budge, and then she lunged away from me and twisted around, at which time her dress became torn, and it actually came off in his hand, and her wig flew off of her head. I gotta tell you. Wait a second.
Oh, boy.
Wait a minute. Her fucking wig?
Yeah, buddy.
We gotta go over to Bull and McCabe and see if I can get lucky with a fucking wig gal. One of these wig gals. Nelson was also questioned about another incident with another woman. And now here's the thing. He says there's no way he could have raped her. I have erectile dysfunction and I hadn't taken my drug. I think if you're grabbing at a woman and you're trying to do something to her, whether you have a hard penis or not, Bill Cosby is on trial for fingering that woman in Pennsylvania. Did you know that? It was just excuse me. Of course it was a violation, a horrible viation, a terrible violation.
It was just a finger? Is that
I was going to say that. Yes, it was.
Wasn't even so.
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy you caught yourself.
Boy, did I. Oh, man. No, I didn't.
It's just a little finger.
Well, you know what? No, I was. Yeah, I stopped. I stopped myself. Certainly, any type of sexual harassment like that, any digitalizing a woman's vagina and/or clitoris is sexual harassment, and in my estimation, everybody else is what's called a hand rape. It's a hand rape. Yeah. So it is terrible, and the person should go to jail for as many years as they give for hand rape. That is part of the problem, though, Christina, is men really don't. I mean, forced rape, as you know, Steve, and all that. But, you know, a guy's fighting around with a girl and he's trying to feel her up and all that kind of stuff. Men generally don't look at that as sexual harassment. But that is the absolute definition of sexual harassment. If you are trying to feel a woman up or grab her ass or do whatever, while you're making out even, and she's telling you no, you might go to jail for that. I would actually, if I was like, dating now, I guess I would, how would you do that? How would you, protect yourself? I wear maybe a body camera. That'd be cool. Wear a body camera. And then you have like all the POVs you wanted by yourself, or you'd have to say to her, before we do anything, could you give the time and your name and just record that we're about to have sex and it's okay with you? I mean, all
hold up this newspaper, please.
Yeah.
Today's paper.
With a picture of that attorney.
How old are you?
With a picture of that lawyer. Yeah. With that guy, Nelson. John, you're in Ontario, and now you're on the Jay Thomas Show, coming to you from Hollywood at the Sirius XM studios, where I believe Covino and Rich broadcast. Jason, was it Jason Ellis?
Ellis,
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he broadcasts from over here. They have other shows too. Gorgeous studios. I mean, the microphone looks like, R2-D2's arm or something. It's like, and the clocks work. It's unreal. Yes, John, go ahead.
Okay, so I live in Northern Ontario.
Yeah.
And I had a friend that was working with us, and he said he was a Muslim.
Yeah.
He would say, I drink the odd time, but he wouldn't drink the all the time. But he said he couldn't study nuclear science when he came to Ontario.
He couldn't study nuclear science. Why?
Which is what he wanted to do.
Why couldn't he?
Because he was brown. Canada doesn't let brown people study nuclear science.
In Northern Ontario in Canada, brown people are not allowed to study.
All our nuclear plants are in Southern Ontario.
And so if you have brown skin, they don't let you in there.
No.
Wow. Now, is this something everyone in the country knows, and you're bringing this up as our show about generalizations, which we find, as you know, horrible.
Generalizations.
Yes, generalizations. As you know, we find horrible, and we have this show for one reason and one reason only, to stop generalizations.
Or make more of them.
Yeah.
Well,
Now, Steve and I, if we are in the sun, let's say Steve and I go to Cuba.
Somebody else can talk.
Okay.
We are the most diverse country of people in the world.
Are you talking now?
Well, finally.
All right. You hurt my feelings a little bit.
Smoking, too?
Yeah, he's smoking a bowl. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I'm going to smoke back at him. Here we go. Give me that Heineken.
We have the most diverse population in the world.
Okay, so I don't get why you're calling.
Well, I'm calling because the guy was just like, he was a really smart guy. He ended up in safety.
Get rid of him. Let's go to Bob of Boston. Yes, Bob, go ahead.
I'm a Uber driver, and I've been sexually harassed more in 3 months by my passengers than I was 25 years in my professional career.
Are you like a good-looking guy?
No, I'm just an average Joe, but the previous caller said that drunk young women are just obnoxious. Actually, the older women, too.
Now, in New Orleans, there was a taxi driver. It's a famous audio video. The woman was a lawyer and was on television and radio in New Orleans, and she is begging this guy to let her suck his penis. Have you heard that audio video?
I have heard that, yes. I'm a regular listener.
Okay. That's the most unbelievable thing I've ever heard. He keeps saying he has a girlfriend and all, and she's drunk and all, but all of a sudden she sounds completely, lucid. Now, has anybody seriously offered you sex that you considered in your Uber car?
Not to that degree, but there's these Santa crawls where people dress like Santa Claus in Boston.
SantaCon, yeah, we have that here in New York,
exactly.
too.
And that's just bad news. That's nitroglycerin waiting to happen. And that's just a constant shuttling of drunken female Santas and talking about how much they love cock.
Wow.
And the
La 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 la.
Christina, they need to change that to the ho 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 crawl. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, by the way, those of you in Northern Ontario, when that white asshole goes in there, get rid of him too. White asshole.
Hey, Jay, this is a freaky one.
Yeah.
I hand out little packets of Tic Tac mints, and I'm able to look the passenger and welcome them in my car because, it's my personal space as well. And I'm able to tell a lot by that individual. Now, prostitutes, you pick up a lot of prostitutes when you do Uber. It's just a matter of fact. And most of them are kind of in the game, and they got a little bit of fun in their eye, and that's okay. But every so often you see those with a dead soul and a dead look in their eye. And one night I picked up this big Russian guy who got in the front seat with me, and these two Russian women, a redhead and a brunette. And they were just yappering in Russian. And every so often the two women would kiss. Nothing too, more like a soft porn kiss that you'd see. And this guy's watching the video, and I hear this weird sound. I look down, and on his cell phone, there's this cock jamming a pussy. Boom, boom, boom. Holy shit, I just want to get these people there safe and quickly. I don't know what's going on in my car.
Wait a second. He was watching a porno. They were making out in the back seat.
Yeah.
That is just,
The porno's right in front of him.
That's the height of perversion.
It
It's
gets
like
a little stranger. So a couple minutes later, I look down again, and the guy is rewatching the video. It's gotten stranger, right? So I'm watching all this kind of looking at the mirrors and just hoping I get there safely. And then I looked at the third time about 5 minutes later, and now I see the redhead in the backseat of the car. She's on the video. And it was her. He was watching his handiwork that he had just done.
Wow. Now, you know what's funny? You're the third or fourth Uber driver we've spoken to over a period of time, too, today. All of you are into the experience of getting into your car and the mints, and I want to get to know people, and I mean, I'm sorry. Make it like a fucking cab ride, would you please?
Well, actually, you know what? When you hand them into the person, you can tell immediately whether they're busy doing something else, if their mind is elsewhere, if they're mean. I had one guy come in, it was a mean drunk, and, I had some domestic violence happen in the back of my car. And that's another situation where Uber doesn't support the driver when you report these things.
Why not?
Because there's no liability for them. You're independent contractors. I had a woman in Uber Pool. I got called. It was Christmas party time, which is always dangerous, right? And it wasn't the person that came out. It was two people pouring this young woman in the back of my car, and she just passed out. And she was in the back of my car, passed out the whole drive, which meant I couldn't pick anybody else up. And when I finally got her home safe, it was pouring rain. I couldn't wake her up. I banged the car doors. I flipped the lights.
Where is the abuse you were talking about?
Well, what happens then is, how often do you have people sitting around talking about how much they love the shaft of a cock and then veins of a cock and they want to lick a cock? And
the woman said this to you?
Yeah, the Santa Claus lady.
Wow.
The drug lady in the back, you don't want to touch these people because you're afraid to. At the same time, they're passed out in the back of the car. And then she got all violent and drunk when I was just trying to help her go up some steps because she was going to crack her head open if I didn't.
Is all of this shit worth it?
That's where I'm starting to really rethink
Thank you. Yeah, this doesn't sound like fun.
It's not a full-time job, and it requires a lot of patience and a lot of humor. So I'll tell you what, in Boston, it's a great city because I had 12 different countries in my backseat one night throughout the course of an evening.
Wow.
And so you're meeting people from all over the world. And
now, Christina, Christina, you always want extra money. Have you ever considered being an Uber driver?
I thought about it when I was living with my parents because they have a car. I don't own a car, so I can't be an Uber driver, but I thought about it briefly. But then I thought, I don't want to be late at night, the only female.
Right.
So there are a lot of females doing it more and more on the road.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I know, but it just, the only time I would ever be able to do it is late night, and it just, I just didn't want to be raped.
You need to write. What drug? What is it?
I'm hearing more and more people talking about coke.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? There is, whatever is out there on the street is not the cocaine of the 1990s. It is not. Who knows what is in that stuff? And you read about that all the time. It's like nobody knows what it is because they say that there aren't those big, whatever it is, I guess in South and Central America, those big cocaine type, jungle factories. It's almost like the synthetic pot. What the fuck is that stuff? That's fucked up too. All right, we'll see you later.
Wait. Do they try to give you drugs as a form of payment ever?
No, but they'll ask if I have any. They'll ask if I know where to get some. I can hear them
really
people about getting it, and that just tells me that they're making too much money. And then with Uber, they can't tip.
Don't steal Robin Williams' lines in front of me.
It's true. It really is true.
All right, get rid of this guy. He's talking too fucking much. What are we, like, at a fucking college reunion and I can't get rid of this fucking wine breath? God. They're lonely people. Lonely. They're lonely generalization people. After a while, the conversation on a lot of talk shows needs to be stopped. And I'm the person to do it, even if I talk over them and they were rude to me. Let's go to John of California. Yes, John, it's Jay Thomas. Go ahead.
Hey, Jay, I figured it's much safer to drive around as a medical marijuana delivery driver than it is to do Uber.
Now, wait a minute now. Is that legal in California? Can you deliver legally?
Yes, it is, and I make $10 an hour, plus I get $20 for gas, and I also get tips.
Wait a minute. I went to a marijuana pharmacy the other day to ask this question. Can you deliver, or do you mail, or whatever? And the guy said no. He said...
You can't mail.
But you can deliver in a car?
Yes, you can. It's perfect.
Really? Do they show their card at the door?
We verify them online when they first call in as first-time patients, and then the driver goes out and takes a picture of the rank and ID, and then they're good for a year. And everyone's very respectful. It's like delivering pizza, but it's marijuana, and they give you good tips. I made $48 in one tips off of one patient one time.
Well, when you come to the door, you're stoned and you're bringing the pot, you're happy. You throw them a $50 tip,
I treat this like a job. I do not smoke. I do not medicate while I'm on the clock. I do that all off the clock.
Wow. Cool. What about, do you ever do coke to keep you awake during the deliveries?
No, but it's funny. I was able to find all my drug connections through my coworkers at the dispensary, so I can get mushrooms, coke,
Wow. What, Christina, you must be drooling back there. Colorado, California. You got to be drooling. It could be bad for you, Christina. Really bad.
What could be bad for me?
Yeah, no, you'd get hooked.
No.
You'd be hooked.
It'd be nothing different. The day would be the same in Denver as it would be in New York City.
You know what?
Or
gateway
California.
drugs. They're all gateway drugs. You'd be a meth addict.
I'm 35. What do you mean?
Gateway drugs.
Where's the rest of my problem?
I don't know.
So
maybe the gateway to chocolate. Maybe that would be the bad part. Chocolate gateway.
Nah, chocolate started way before the weed.
Lemon pie.
Ew.
Gateway to lemon pie.
Thank you, Jay. Left Coast Collection.
All right, bye-bye. Doug of Mississippi. Yes, Doug. When you hear about these states that have marijuana, they have abortion, they allow people to marry, gay people get to marry and everything else, and they're liberals, and you live in fucking Mississippi. Do you ever go, wow?
Sometimes I just go wow at other people's reactions. I don't care what other people do or
No, I know you don't, but you live in a state where a lot of this shit is not available to you, and also
it drives
mentally.
me crazy. It drives me crazy.
They'll
I'd
never
love to live
have
in Colorado. I'd love to live in Colorado.
Mississippi, Louisiana, and like Oklahoma and Arkansas will be the last states to, Florida will go before anybody else, to make medical marijuana legal. I mean it.
Well, I think we were the last state for alcohol, or one of the last ones. So,
in North Carolina, I lived there when it was dry. Hard to believe. Louisiana, except for northern Louisiana. But when you hear about it and you listen to like Sirius XM or watch TV or whatever, it's got to be odd, right? It's got to be like shit, Everybody else looks like they're just hanging out, and we're staying uptight. I mean, I'm from Louisiana, so it's a little less. But once you leave New Orleans, it's a whole different place. I just wondering about that.
That's why we go to New Orleans, is to get away from this. It's like another country.
Yes. Have you ever gone to New Orleans and danced with a man in a dress?
Probably. I don't know that I did, but I more than likely did. I've been to New Orleans enough times.
What can I do for you, Doug?
Well, I just had a question real quick. Earlier you were making a point. You caught yourself before you made the entire point. Have you ever done that in a professional situation where you did not catch yourself? And,
no. Mm-mm.
So you're always able to, even if you bring it back. Okay.
Well, you know what? I the only time, and it happened here at Sirius, I was truly fooling around and pretending I was angry at I don't even want to mention this guy's name and the wife and everything else, and it somehow was taken seriously, and I guess I was a better actor than I thought. Christina, you remember this thing.
Oh, how can I forget?
But it was really weird because I was like doing a bit, and then when the show was over, I was going about my business and everything else, and all of a sudden I hear this dust up, and what I realize is someone that wanted to be noticed used something I was doing joking around, and they're thriving to be noticed, started to get me in a kind of a world of shit. So I called him up. I said, you got to be kidding. I don't even know who the fuck you are. And obviously I was kidding. And then they said, well, you said something about my kid or what. I said, okay, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to say it or whatever. I am not here to make a point. I am not here to educate anybody. I am absolutely not here to advance an agenda or get anybody to think anything. That's what's so weird. People always are going, well, what are you trying to accomplish? Abso-fucking-lutely
entertainment.
Nothing.
That's all.
I don't even know if that's what it is. I'm not trying to accomplish anything. And it is the most wonderful, like when Jon Stewart is too exhausted. My wife was a big Jon Stewart fan. I go, why did he quit again? Well, he every day he has to like read about all the things that are happening in the world, and he has to like make jokes about them. And my wife's never listened to my show. And I go, well, fuck, I do that every day, every single day. Well, he's different. He's different. He couldn't take it anymore. And I'm thinking, what a fucking asshole. And then she says, oh, he's never home having dinner with his family. Why not? Why not? So make sure every night you have fucking dinner with your family and do the fucking show. But oh no, he's got to be, fucking making some fucking statement. Like Rachel fucking Maddow with her fucking big crew-cutted head sticking in the TV. It's like, shut the fuck up. Please. Please. Less of you try to make a fucking point and instead have a little fucking fun, and you won't be all upset by the big bad world.
Sirius XM Comedy Greats. Channel 94 and on the Sirius XM app.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Kate Winslet, Matt Damon.
We're starting from a really good place because the script is so well done.
It's Oscars week, and Entertainment Weekly Radio interviews the biggest nominees. Kate Blanchett, Ridley Scott, Jennifer Lawrence.
When we were shooting Joy, it was a winter that actually made history. It was like Oregon Trail.
Michael Fassbender, Eddie Redmayne, Brie Larson.
The movie works because of the way that we were able to work together.
Meet the nominees throughout the week and join us for special live coverage before and after the Oscars Sunday night on Entertainment Weekly Radio, Sirius XM 105.
Michelle Tafoya here for Good Look Inc. Guys, April 15th is coming and only two things in life are inevitable. Loss. In fact, going bald and paying taxes have a lot in common. They're both annoying, they both gradually strip away something valuable, and they both leave you feeling kind of powerless. It's time to do something about it. Not the tax code, your head. Talk to Good Look Inc. and find out why people from all over the world go to GLI to get that clean, confident style the ladies love. I've personally seen it, felt it, and love the tight buzz looks of men who've had it done. There are no drugs, no surgery, and no maintenance. GLI's unique process transforms your head and your life in just one visit. Check out the photos at goodlookinc.com today, then schedule a free one-on-one consultation to start the process. And if you do get a tax refund, invest it in something worthwhile. You. Get the good life with Good Look Inc. Go to goodlookinc.com. That's goodlookinc.com.
You know your kids are smart, but did you know enrolling them in Kumon can make them even smarter? Like 12-year-old Pranav.
I've taken 11 college courses, either physics, calculus, or chemistry.
The Kumon method is designed to put your children ahead of their peers in math and reading.
I like the challenges that I faced in the Kumon program.
To learn more, visit Kumon.com and join us for a free parent orientation. That is KUMON.com. Kumon, where smart kids get smarter.
Your email can travel through some bad neighborhoods when it leaves your inbox. Never send sensitive information without protection. Get email encryption from AppRiver and be sure your messages travel safely and don't get hijacked along the way. AppRiver gives you a handy delivery slip to let you know when your email has arrived, who read it, and what they did with it. With AppRiver, you can send confidential messages with confidence. For more, visit appriver.com/XM. appriver.com/XM.
You hear him every morning on the Opie with Jim Norton show. Now, see Jim live on his Mouthful of Shame tour. Sponsored by SiriusXM.
What a delightful time we're about to have.
From Connecticut to Colorado, St. Louis to San Antonio, covering over 30 cities, it's Jim Norton's Mouthful of Shame tour.
I have glitter on my zipper. I have no idea how it got there.
Check out JimNorton.com for tickets and a complete listing of tour dates. Sponsored by SiriusXM.
Oh, there goes the neighborhood.
You're listening to Comedy Greats on Sirius XM.
Help make a big deal of Jay, so he won't go home and cry. It's the Jay Thomas Show on Sirius XM Comedy Greats.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, get on up, get up, get on up. Stay on the scene, get on up like a sex machine. Get on up, get up, get on up, get up, get on up. Stay on the scene, get on up like a sex machine. Get on up, get up, get on up. Stay on the scene, get on up like a sex machine.
3476 Sirius is the voice box that you'll be hearing from in a few minutes. To get right directly in and live is 844-5-GREATS. And apparently we'll talk to almost anybody. Let's go to Quan Dixon from Indiana, Evansville. Quan, welcome to the Jay Thomas Show. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Well, good. You're in a part of the show where we like to bring an entrepreneur on, someone that has done something in the business world that has mixed two things that human beings love. And so today, Quan, we're bringing you on because you tell the people, what have you decided to mix as an entrepreneur?
Well, quarter-pound hot dogs and sex toys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Quan Dixon,
quarter-pound
hot dogs. Now, I don't know Evansville that well. Where can folks find you? Is it a food cart or is it a van? What are you selling these things out of?
Right now, it's a cart that I'm vending on the street. Yeah. And just like you would see in the city where you see a hot dog stand, mine is not only a hot dog stand, it's a hot dog, popcorn, nacho stand, all together in one.
Yum.
Do you have the soft bun that you kind of put in that thing that gets, I don't know what, steamed or something? Is the bun soft?
The buns are real soft.
Oh, I love that. Love that soft
Fresh,
bun.
soft, warm, and juicy to the bite. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. And what sort of toppings do you put on the sex toys?
Well, on the sex toy.
like, would you put chili on a sex toy, and I could have my girlfriend lick the chili off of it?
See, what you put on the sex toy is the topping.
Yeah.
The best toppings, Everybody wants to eat a hot dog,
Yeah. I'm with
the
you.
best way they can. It just depends how you like. You like chili and cheese.
Yeah.
You like the Chi-Town style, the New York style. It's just all up to you.
What do you call New York style in Evansville? What's your how do you make a New York style hot dog?
Well, the New York style for me in Indiana, Evansville, it would be sauerkraut, onions, jalapenos.
Wow.
Ooh.
You know what? I don't care what sex toy. You better be using a sex toy because no one's going to be wanting to fuck you after your breath, I mean, really. I mean, the sauerkraut, a hot dog, and chili and onions start blowing out of you. You better have an 8-foot sex toy to be rubbing their clit with. Do you have like kind of one of those sex toys that's on a selfie stick that you could just rub their clit from like 4 feet away?
That's not a bad idea to put, for the business. You can add selfie sticks to the.
You know what you need to do is you hand out mints.
I got a little bit of everything. I got selfie sticks too. That's more of an accessory for me.
Wow.
So I have a whole bunch of stuff. It's just not. It's more like I would say like a flea market on the side of the street. We don't have nothing like that.
Now, let me ask. Now, when you think of something, I'm always amazed at how people think of stuff. Selling hot dogs is one thing, and making a fabulous hot dog with cheese and everything else, and getting a brand that you really like. When did you come up with the idea of, hey, I'm going to add sex toys to it?
Well, I came up with the idea because I'm sitting here at the bus station.
Yeah.
And at the bus station, we have a lot of, let's say, action going on,
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of action. So I was more thinking of safe sex. Choose abstinence. Because I just don't see a lot of homeless people having babies, and that's just not right to me. I'm looking at the world, and they're giving out condoms to the homeless people. But I'm like, why give out condoms when you give out a toy? And nobody gets offended about nothing. If a homeless person won't have kids and can't take care of them, and they'll be okay.
Right. So now, wait a minute now. You're there at the bus station, and there are homeless people, and they're handing out condoms so that they don't, have these kids that can't. Now, wait a minute. So are you selling, is your clientele mostly the homeless with the hot dogs and the sex toys?
My clientele with the sex toys is more like I would say, the white guy freaks.
The white freaks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So notice that I said guys.
Well, we were talking generalizations earlier, and I know many more freaky white guys than black guys. That is absolutely a generalization that is true, and it's because we are very uptight. White guys are very uptight about sex, whereas you guys, it's a wonderful, fun expression thing and everybody is talking about it. But in the white world, it's hidden, it's uptight. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not joked about, nothing.
Well, the best joke I seen about the white guy getting it in was Magic Mike, and they had a food truck too.
So now, I come up, and how much is how much would a dog with everything be?
Well, a quarter pounder would be $3.25. A regular bun size hot dog is $2. And if you want I would say a Polish sausage or a brat, if I have them on that day, it'd be $3.75.
Okay, so like $4 or whatever. And then, where are the sex toys? Are they attached to the cart? I mean, how do I look at them? How do I see them?
See, the sex toys is on the side of everything, so the kids can't really see them. It's more discreet, from because I had keychains. I had the bullet. Have you seen the commercial?
That's popular. Yes. I'm looking at the commercial right now, Steve. I'll send it to you. We can play it a little later on.
You have a, wait a minute. You have a commercial that runs online?
My friend helped me out, man.
Steve, it's an AP.
White, money green.
Where can people see this commercial, Quan?
On Facebook. On my Facebook is Quan Dixon.
Quan Dixon.
It'll be me. Yep. KWANDIXON.
Mm-hmm.
And to add me if you like to, however you want to do it. I'll make another page if I have too many.
And we've posted it on our Facebook pages as well.
Can we play it? Is it good enough sound for us to? I'd like to hear it. Quan Dixon, if you're in Evansville, where's it
available?
What?
Oh,
I just watched it the other day.
They say it's unavailable.
It's happening right now. Can you put my thing up?
Huh?
Oh, no, we're talking back here. Here we go.
He's always getting on your nerves, never giving you privacy. The man not laying down like he used to. But we got something for you. The compact to-go kit, the bullet. Batteries included. And waterproof. $10. We got 007 gold. Money green. Blue balls blue. The chrome pack for you freaks. And my favorite, white boy white.
Wow. So now wait a minute now. I don't hear you talking about hot dogs in that ad.
Well, because that was more of me just selling just sex toys at the moment. I had that. It was an item. I wanted to see how it was going to work. I wanted to see if I could get more money.
Now, what sort of music do you play to bring the people in around the cart?
I play any music with little cursing, more R&B. The women come whenever they hear R&B. I tested the crowd out with this one, right? So music, they all run, man. It rained one day when I played gospel music. So gospel music, I don't knock it. I tried it. It didn't work. So I stopped playing it. So then I went to R&B music. It brings a lot of women. I went to rap. It brings a lot of street people. And then I played, what was that? Hit music.
Country.
And I'm trying to tell you, let me tell you about that one, man. That is the best music you can play outside in the street.
Ah, that's interesting.
You mean the rednecks? The rednecks come from all over to hear the redneck music?
Man, they come from all over just because they hear music. But you get more people coming towards you when they hear music that they're used to.
Now, my son is a famous country writer. Do you ever play this song, Her Lips Taste Like Sangria? You played that one?
No, I never heard.
Yeah, that's Blake Shelton. It's big, and it's about how he's with this woman, and they're in a bar, and they go back, to his room or whatever, and her lips taste like sangria. Now, listen to this. Let's see if this would help. With a vibrator and a hot dog. Yeah.
Crashing into me like waves on the coast. Every time we talk, you move in closer. I want you to stop. I want you to stop.
Put your hot dog in me. Put that hot dog in. Oh, yeah. Flip me over. Put it in the other hole.
Oh, jeez.
Making your eyes shine tonight.
Here's the hook, Quan. Here we go.
We're buzzing like that no vacancy sign out front. Your skin is begging to be kissed by a little more than the sun. You take my hand in yours. You lean in and your lips taste like sangria.
It's very sexual, Quan.
With the popcorn.
Now, you know what? No, I'm not joking. That's my son wrote that song with it's a big, huge hit. Is it too slow for you? Is that too slow of a song? Okay.
No, nothing's too slow. Anybody that loves music understands why.
Okay. Now, when you said you played gospel and everybody ran away, we're talking to Quan.
No, he said it rained. Didn't he say it rained?
It rained on him.
It rained on him.
You played gospel, and Jesus punished you by raining you out that day?
I think he was just trying to wash all the sins away on his dad. I was like,
wow.
Oh, God. I was trying to support somebody. You know, they got tired of hearing all the other music. So
You know
I
what's
put on
funny?
gospel. They
Quan,
got me good.
why do you think that something that feels so good and is so much fun to do is a sin? And it's really weird, isn't it? It's like it's the oddest thing that it's this really terrible thing. And
Taboo.
yeah, and like when you see the right wing guys going abstinence, I mean, Sarah Palin's daughter, every time she signs an abstinence agreement, she gets fucked within minutes of signing it. She can't stop. It's like, why don't we just embrace it and go, it's fun, it feels good, and you know what I mean? I don't get it.
I mean, the world's already complaining about population. They don't want nothing to succeed, but they want to succeed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you come in handy because you can't populate with a bullet.
Exactly.
I don't think sex is about population. I think it feels really good, and we are jealous when our loved one goes off with another person. But the weird thing is that it's this wonderful thing that feels great, and yet it is just dripping with problems.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
There's a lot. I mean, which in my situation, I have 5 girls, including my girl.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
They're all going to sync up, Quan. You're in trouble.
Wait a minute. You have 5 daughters or 5 girlfriends?
5 daughters. Nah, don't do me like that now, Jay. Come on.
You have 5 daughters?
They're all going to sync up. You're in so much trouble.
I even call my woman my daughter. I got to take care of her. That's my baby. I got to take care of her.
Wow. How old are your children, your 5 children?
Well, 4, 5, and 7, and 12, and the oldest one is 36.
Nice.
Quan, you need to get your hot dog clipped. You need, it's time for. Would you ever get a vasectomy, or is that in your world, is that like a no-no?
Well, it depends on how you want your hot dog. They got the red ones that you can snip like that, or you can get the other one. Just pull out the rebel. Pull out the the siding, whatever it is. Oh.
So now, if we're in Evansville, if I'm sending people to see you, Quan Dixon, where is your cart located physically in Evansville?
Sycamore and 6th Street.
All right. Let's go to Matt of Indiana. Matt, you've been listening to Quan Dixon of Evansville, and he's got the hot dog cart, and he sells, the sex toys with it. Matt, would you be interested in this kind of business there?
Yeah. I'm in Jasper, Indiana, about maybe 45 minutes away from Evansville.
Holiday World.
I'm sorry?
I said close by Holiday World, Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's a little south of that.
Mm-hmm.
But are there franchise opportunities for somebody like myself?
Wow.
I like
he wants a franchise. Well, what's the name of the cart? Do you have some kind of great name for it?
Pops, Popcorn, and Koozie Daddies.
Pops, Popcorn, and Koozie Daddies. That's the name of your cart? Yeah.
Koozie Daddies.
Koozie Daddies. Now, Matt, I'm not kidding you. Matt, all you got to do is get a cart and get some hot dogs and get some,
Well, you can't steal the man's
bullets.
idea now.
Sure you can.
No.
Are you? I'm in Hollywood.
Good business
That's how they do.
That's how they do. I'm going downstairs on Wilshire Boulevard in Hollywood. I'm going to open a stand-up as soon as the show is over. Yeah. Now, let me ask you, there are a lot of people that say if you need equipment, you're doing it wrong. Do you use equipment, or do you find it just to be something that you sell for others, Quan?
Be more specific.
Do you test out the products before you put your name on them?
No, are you a user of them? I mean, do you, in your sex life, do you find that you use a lot of sex toys and you're into it? Which is fine, but I just wonder.
Whatever my lady likes, that's what I love. As long as it don't penetrate me.
Right. Does she like when you put the tip of it right inside the butthole and just let it kind of... Yeah. You know what else you ought to do? You have put a little jalapeno in there.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. Put a little jalapeno in there.
No, that's not good for anybody.
My favorite song is called "Burn That Sphincter." Burn that sphincter.
No jalapeno, no peppermint.
Wow. All right, Matt of Indiana, thank you. And Quan, thanks a lot. Quan Dixon, part of our Young Entrepreneurs special today. If you're in Evanston and you're near the bus, is it the bus station that you're near?
Downtown bus station, the Mets bus station.
Why don't you go and like near the business people, like some fancy building or something, and get away from the kind of the riffraff there, and do that right out front of some office building or something?
I'm right in front of AT&T.
Okay. All right. Evansville, Indiana, Quan Dixon. And if you want to find him and see him with the sex toys and the hot dogs, you just search for him, Quan Dixon, on Facebook. Quan, thank you very much. Thank you.
Check me out on SoundCloud, too. I'm on SoundCloud, Quan Dixon. I got music and all, man. Anything, just look my name up on Google it, and I'll do that.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, that's our. What else did we have recently that we started by accident on Friday? What happened? What happened to you? And people are sending us all kind of things.
May I ask?
May I ask? This is our new one. If you have a business, an odd business, and you want to talk about it, just like Quan did, you contact Christina Palumbo, and we'll try and get you on after our committee takes a look at it.
Yes.
Charlie of South Dakota, the Jay Thomas Show, with Steve Gonzalez back in New York, along with Christina, and I'm coming to you from our pristine studios in Hollywood. Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier you were talking about Rachel Maddow being all stuck up and stuff like that. I agree with you. The less fucks I give, the better I feel. We have 2 seasons up here in South Dakota, construction and winter.
Mm-hmm.
So if we stressed out about everything, we'd die at a very young age. So I'm with you. If I could give a fuck less, I'm better off that way,
Right. Well, then maybe that's my new motto: give a fuck less.
Exactly. Because there's just.
But what's weird is there are people that worshipped Jon Stewart, and I got a lot of people that said to me, he always said he was a comedian and he was joking, and yeah, I know he said that, but he was also worshipped by people who said that he is the only news that young people got was from him, and it's like, okay, but then he does a movie, and what's the movie? He goes and does a movie about some guy who's in jail in Iraq. He takes 3 months off. He has an English guy replace him, which, of course, makes me sick again, that John Oliver. And then the movie, as I said, no one gives a shit about the guy that's captured. And then he quits because he can't take it anymore because the world is it's like, yeah, well, I thought you were a fucking comedian. I thought you were just being funny. And you're brilliant. And your show was fantastic. So make sure your show is over by dinner time. That's all. Or do it from your fucking house.
Do it from your house, yeah. Do it from your kitchen table.
Get up and do it in the living room. That's all.
Yeah.
By the way, you know that my family has never demanded that I be home for dinner? I've never.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, many of you, I'm sure you'd like to hear from her. I'd like to call my wife and my children and go, do you ever remember a night, except when there was trouble, that you wished I was there? And I think they'll say no. Because I was there at some other time, and it was fine. It drives me nuts. It drives me crazy. Well, thank you very much, Charlie. Thank you.
You have a great night.
Ken of British Columbia. Yes, Ken, go ahead.
Yeah, Jay, I just wanted to ask Christina if she had any toys.
Hey, Christina, you want to know if you have any toys, eh? Hey, you have like one of the Canadian toys. It's like a beluga whale that vibrates between your legs, eh?
Well, if you want, Jay, I can put on a Texas accent for you.
Oh, yeah. There you go. You know what? What's amazing about toys is I think men really like to do it, more than women. What I remember about sex toys is that the woman really wanted to get it out of your hands and take care of herself with it. And I think they just let men vibrate you a little bit or whatever, you know. But they're better at it on them.
Well,
on
do you know what my wife's favorite toy is?
What?
My tongue.
Really? You ever put a rope around? Do this for your wife when you get home. Put a little string or a shoestring or something around your ear, and then pull it off and go like you're starting a lawnmower. Do that. She'll think it's good.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try it.
All righty, good. Let's go to Rich, who's in Minnesota. Yes, Rich. Go ahead. Hello?
Rich, you're on.
Yeah, hi. What's going on there, Jay Thomas? I heard you got yourself the radio show that's doing pretty well.
Well, you do sound a lot like Jesse Ventura.
Well done.
What do you mean I sound like him? That's because I am him. You know, I've been down in Mexico, Jay, investigating the drones, and I'm also trying to figure out if I'm going to run for president or not.
Now, is that, I guess Jesse Ventura, he was born in Minnesota. He's a native son, and you got that accent perfectly.
Well, you know, from listening to him for years and years, you know, I'm 47 years old, and I used to watch him when he was a wrestler. When him and Adrian Adonis, they took over Turkey Town.
If you called somebody and they didn't know it wasn't Jesse and you were just talking, is your normal voice close to Jesse's?
Actually, no. This is my normal voice right here. Tad Wimpy.
It is a little wimpy. Yes, it is a tad wimpy. Very good job. Yeah.
I can make fun of myself, not you, though.
That's fine. And you guys do have a little Canadian in you. It's almost amazing when you talk about, you know, people's like linguistics and voices. I guess, I don't know, what do you call that? Not semantics, but I can tell someone sometimes from Detroit or Minnesota. And then as you get going north, you can actually hear the accent change and become the Canadian accent. That's pretty wild, pretty crazy.
Yeah, you know, the stereotyping, like the movie I hated the most when it came out was that freaking movie Fargo, because they portrayed us as freaking dipshits, and that's not the case. So I'm from Minnesota. We do not talk that way here. I mean, you know, there's a lot of different people in Minnesota, so there's a lot of different accents.
Is that the Coen brothers?
Do you hear that in my voice? Yeah. Like when I'm talking to you, do you hear, I'm from Minnesota? I don't.
No, you don't. But are they from Minnesota, Steve, the Coen brothers? Is that why they did that?
Exactly. Yep, exactly. I was actually going to be in one of their movies, and then I backed out.
Well, with your shitty attitude, you can't have an attitude like you do.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But
people are wondering. Someone said to me, well, if Jon Stewart goes and makes a movie in Iraq, and you're not trying to, do anything important, what movie would you go to make? You ready? I would like to make American Pie 4. Okay?
Hey, you know what?
Where I take 2 Viagras and I stick my penis in a pie.
Well, what kind of pie you're talking about?
I know, an American pie, whatever it is, an apple pie.
Hey, Jay, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
You know, John Lennon was killed by a fan. You know what I'm wondering?
What?
I'm just wondering where are all the Kanye West fans when you need them. Hoorah!
All right, get rid of him. Get rid of him. We cannot be calling for an assassination. They always ruin it, don't they? Start to like him and then, unbelievable. I don't want anybody who's fun to talk about to go away. You know what I mean? I don't even want the people that are in my way to go away. Well, how do you do it, Jay? Well, I sleep well, that's why. My sleep number, last night I went berserk. But I did this only so I could tell you that I changed my sleep number. I softened the bed down to a 65, okay? And it's amazing because there's all these tubes and everything underneath, and you have a little, it's like a little television clicker thing right by the bed, and you can lower your side. And then I pumped up my wife's side a little bit while she was sleeping. So I changed her sleep number. And that's my little experiment to see if she says anything. Because I do these all the time. And they say that this is, the ultimate sleep experience. Well, and I'll keep you posted on that. But at this point, you can actually make your sleeping experience whatever you want it to be. You don't have to just lay in one bed that has that big dip in the middle of it, and that's it for you. A Sleep Number bed will let you choose the ideal comfort for each side for you and your partner. And you can add the optional Sleep IQ technology. Optimize the best possible sleep. Adjust your Sleep Number to anything you want. Find out what's working. And you can find out about Sleep Number beds at sleepnumber.com. And right now, they have a great sale going, 50% off a limited edition bed. Plus, all beds are on sale, including the Queen C2 mattresses, now only $599.99. No better sleep, Sleep Number. Find your Sleep Number by going to any one of the 450 Sleep Number stores. It's sleepnumber.com. And, of course, Jay Thomas has sent you.
I was scared to talk to you because you're being so mean,
Shut up! The Jay Thomas Show. Sirius XM Comedy Greats.
Play ball! Hey everybody, this is Brad Lidge from Sirius XM MLB Network Radio. Now it's never been easier to listen to Sirius XM in your other car, office, or any other room in your home. You can get special savings this month on a radio with a portable speaker dock that's perfect for you to tune in and turn up Sirius XM in more places. Get a great deal on a new radio and listen to my show, Inside Pitch, on MLB Network Radio. Just visit SiriusXM.com/radio deals to learn more.
Oh, baby, what a shot!
Should you worry about identity theft during tax season? Yes. The IRS has reported over $6 billion in fraudulent refunds in a single year due to identity theft. Does it matter if you're not getting a refund this year? No. Thieves can use information from your tax documents to steal your identity well after tax season ends. Can disguising yourself make you less likely to have your identity stolen? No. Your friends might not recognize you, but it won't help with identity theft. Fortunately, LifeLock can help. If you're a victim, our U.S.-based team of specialists will work to resolve your case. If needed, we'll spend up to $1 million hiring lawyers and experts to set things right. Don't wait till you have a problem. Get LifeLock for peace of mind now and all year long. Memberships start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. And now you can get 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code COVER. LifeLock.
You know your kids are smart, but did you know enrolling them in Kumon can make them even smarter? Like 12-year-old Pranav.
I've taken 11 college courses, either physics, calculus, or chemistry.
The Kumon method is designed to put your children ahead of their peers in math and reading.
I like the challenges that I faced in the Kumon program.
To learn more, visit Kumon.com and join us for a free parent orientation. That is KUMON.com. Kumon, where smart kids get smarter.
Introducing Free Prints, the free 5-star app that lets you get all those great photos off your iPhone or Android phone and into your hands in just days. Free Prints lets you print up to 1,000 4x6 photos a year absolutely free. All you pay is a small shipping charge. It's easy. Just select photos on your phone or on Facebook or Instagram, then choose the sizes, and you're done. The app is free, and so are the prints. No subscriptions, no commitments. Just free prints. Get the Free Prints app now at freeprintsnow.com. That's freeprintsnow.com.
Billy Joel. Sirius XM has your chance to win tickets for Billy shows at baseball stadiums in San Diego, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Philly, Boston, and Washington, D.C., plus a grand prize trip to a show at Wrigley Field in Chicago. For official rules and to enter, go to SiriusXM.com/BillyJoelTour before March 21st. Open only to those with SiriusXM since before January 8th, 2016. No purchase necessary. The Billy Joel Channel. SiriusXM 18.
You're listening to Comedy Greats on Sirius XM.
Feeling down? Need a pick-me-up? Let Jay raise your spirits.
Happy-go-lucky.
Just another day on the Jay Thomas Show. Here on Sirius XM Comedy Greats.
In-a-gonna-da-vida, baby. In-a-gonna-da-vida, baby. That's what this reminds me of. In-a-gada-da-vida, baby. You know that song, Steve, In-a-gada-da-vida?
I do.
Yeah, this sounds like a derivation of it, you know? In-a-gada-da-vida. I could have been one of these singers. You know what I want to do. Yeah. Hit me in the head with a 2x4, yeah. Throw me through the door of a jewelry store, yeah. I know you are. How do they do a whole concert like this? God forbid.
Coke throat.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it, doesn't it?
I'm just
Not
kidding.
that I know what it feels like. Dear Jay, at jthomasshow@gmail, how do you feel about the Apple people not wanting to open the telephone for the FBI? I just, one of those stupid things. It's like, so open the fucking thing. Let them see what the killers were, who they were talking to. And it's a big fucking deal. It's going to go in front of Congress and the FBI. It's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. This is what people, the average everyday person walking around, thinks it's stupid. So now Facebook, and I want to say, first of all, you know good and well that Bill Gates, who doesn't like Apple, has said that Apple should open the phone, right? So that's his thing. Then there's another group saying that Apple's only doing this so that people will think that they're, really, being very secretive for you and me out there with the phone. And then you've got Zuckerberg, who says that the phone shouldn't be opened by the FBI. Just open the fucking phone and, let them see the shit. The guy's a murderer. He and his wife were horrible fucking murderers. It's too late now. That's the sad thing. Because whoever they did call, whoever they did contact, whatever they did do that they'll find encrypted in that telephone, that's all been erased. It's been announced internationally. So, sadly, all of that information, hopefully maybe some names are left or whatever, it could probably save people's lives. It is unfucking believable to me. It's dumb. And, once they open one, they have to open... No, they don't. That's like your mom going, well, if I give you one cookie, you're going to want two. Yeah, so what if you want two? You get one. That's all. Steve, where do you stand on this? Opening the encrypted telephone of these murderers.
The criminals.
Open it, right?
Open the phone.
Yeah. Now, let's say it's you and me, and we're accused of something, and they want to open our telephones up. I don't think you and I are of national security.
If we committed an act of terrorism, then by all means, crack my phone open.
Exactly. It's and for those of you out there who think that the government is the one you have to fear, everyone we've talked to has said that the government doesn't have anywhere near the capabilities to spy on you, that you are being spied on by every single television show, any internet cast, any podcast, anybody that you tune into, that you put through your telephone or through your computer. It's over. They got you. Do you know the other night I downloaded Skype, okay? So I downloaded Skype, but I didn't download the video. I just wanted to use it, like for the Skype telephone and stuff. All of a sudden, I get all of these requests to open my Skype video. Now, I wasn't even contacting anybody. I was just like fooling around with it. And there were like 20 Skype videos waiting for me. What could that have been? I don't even know what that is. Skype immediately took my information, and I want to imagine that they gave it to, I don't know what, like people that call you on the phone after they sell your phone number, to people like the fucking Church of Scientology that called me to get me to join. I think Skype, sold my information, and I was getting video ads. Do you have Skype video, Steve? Do you have it?
I don't use it.
Have you ever gotten an unsolicited video from like someone you're not even interested in?
No, I don't
really?
No.
I'm going to have my engineer come over and tell me what he thinks it is, because we were hooking it up. We didn't do anything with it. He and I were testing it. And then all of this stuff. And how about the time that I thought it was a Mac mechanic working on my machine, and the next thing you know, I'm looking at my face on the screen.
When you got hacked.
Yeah, they got into my fucking computer. That's not the government. That's some fucking, Chinese person or Indian person or whatever. God, I'd love to find those sons of bitches. And once, I used to do Toyota commercials years ago. A guy wrote me a letter. He had seen me doing these, I did all the voiceovers. He wrote me a letter from Florida. And it was to some radio station I was working at. And there was his return address telling me that I was un-American and unpatriotic because the Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor and all this. I remember thinking, God damn it, I should fly to fucking Naples or wherever the hell he is, knock on his fucking door, and just do something to this. It's like, do something to these fucking complainers. I would love to be a part of a group of individuals that finds people, that sends you shit that you don't want, and just fuck them up. Absolutely. And I could get posses of people. Like Steve, if we found you get some offending emails and you keep doing unsubscribe or whatever it is, and I said, hey man, I found this guy's, IP code or whatever. I know exactly where he is. Would you go with me, Steve?
Sure.
Yeah, I would too. Like, Christina, you order a pizza online and all of your information. Do you get ads for pizzas after you order one online?
Anything that you look at while you're online gets saved into your cookies, and then before you know it, your Facebook feed is filled with ads of that thing that you looked at.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's not the government,
Yeah.
That's
advertisers.
Yeah. They know
America.
everything.
Yeah.
Many
what's
years
even
ago,
scarier? When
What?
I first got together with my boyfriend and I changed my status on Facebook to in a relationship, every other ad was an engagement ring.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I saw videos of you two right after that. Pretty crazy. Pretty nutty. So years ago, when I got my card for the grocery store, to get the deals or whatever, and they have a camera at the checkout. So, I sign up, and the guy says, do you mind if I take your picture? I said, for the grocery store card? He goes, yeah, it's just for identification. I go, well, okay, if they want to steal the extra 5% I'm going to save on, meat or whatever the hell it is. So I take the picture. I come back, and I swipe my card or whatever, and my picture or something comes up, and he looks at it real fast. And this other kid behind the counter says, do you know where these, what happens when you take this picture? I said, no. He goes, we send them to the CIA. Of course, he was full of shit. But he thought, he meant that. He thought that. He's so stupid. It's not the government that even wants these pictures. It's his grocery store and all the advertisers and everything. Those are the people that violate our privacy. That's what's so odd. 10 times more than the feds. The feds, what did they do? They had millions of phone calls, and they had, 350 of the phone calls that were flagged or something that they thought might have had something to do with terrorism, and then that was stopped. Remember that when the NSA was looking at everybody's phone calls? Out of the millions that they did, they only flagged 350. Let's go to John, who's in Arkansas. Yes, John, go ahead.
Do you really think Tim Cook is that much of an America hater that there's not a better reason for not releasing this?
No, he's not an American hater. He's doing it for a number of reasons, and most of it has to go with marketing Apple.
Well, it also has to do with the NSA. One of the reasons they developed this security protection was because of what the NSA did. And now with things like Apple Pay, the security of that phone is in that phone. So if they release this...
They're not asking to open that phone. They're asking to open the fucking killer's phone.
But once they develop the software to do that, the cat is out of the bag.
Okay, and
Pandora's box.
all right, what do you have to fucking hide, John of
I don't
fucking
have anything to
Arkansas?
hide.
I don't either. I don't fucking either.
Apple Pay, but I don't like the government forcing companies to develop something that doesn't exist that will potentially cause other people's information to become available to anybody.
So let the fucking killers run loose. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
They can unlock the phone without releasing the code to everyone.
I agree. I totally agree. And they ought to have here's the other thing. It's the announcing of it that allows the really bad people to react to it. I think that just like a search warrant, there'll be some sort of a warrant where they go to Apple and they go, look, these people were terrible killers, and they might, have a conduit to something or other in the Middle East. We don't know, or in Europe. We have no idea. And open that phone and take a look. It's the announcing of all this bullshit that drives me nuts. It's so crazy. We're always transparent for the wrong shit. Let's go to Chris of New York. Yes, Chris. Jay Thomas, go ahead.
Hi. Good to talk to you. I just wanted to go back to your comments about Skype and how you got all those downloaded videos once you went onto Skype.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to say that I listened to a really good tech podcast, and their mantra is, if it's free, you are the product. Meaning that, if you're getting one of these services for free,
absolutely.
It's because they are selling you.
Right.
And even though they may not tell you, 1 second later, all of those people that sent you those videos were sold everything that they know about you.
And I didn't buy the video portion of it because I was only doing it for the telephone.
Right.
But I did get bullshit calls, and I thought, okay. But on this Skype number, which has nothing to do with me. And it's not a number I give a shit about. So I knew that was going to happen. But all of a sudden, if I open it right now, there's going to be 30 of them.
Right.
They're video ads, you think?
Yes, they're video ads, or they're things to get you interested in going to some place where there might be something for sale, or they might just be trying to mine more information about you that they can sell to somebody else.
Who are you more frightened of? The people that are selling you stuff like this, or do you worry that the NSA is listening to us right now, or the CIA or the FBI gives a flying fuck about us?
I don't really care about the whole NSA thing. I don't think that's really that big an issue. I think that basically that in the last 10 years, we have sold more information and privacy about ourselves to corporations than has been known in the last 5,000 years.
Well, that I believe, and also I don't know if you know this or not, but from the end of World War II, which was 1945, until 1960, that was 15 years, the knowledge of the world increased by half. Again, it just like one another. So this isn't the first time that this has happened. Here's what's funny to me: the guy that just called me, John of Arkansas, who is a meaningless piece of fucking protoplasm wrapped around a skeletal, fucking sinewy fucking body. No one cares about him, what he's thinking. Every person that's scared that the government's going to find out something about them is an absolute fucking zero. That's what drives me nuts. They would be much more interested in, I don't know who they'd be interested in, not me, but certainly not John of fucking Arkansas. You fucking zero.
The problem is John from Arkansas can vote.
Vote? I doubt it.
Well, He can.
What does that mean, he can vote?
That means that all of that information that's being sucked out of us can be used to manipulate how we vote. And that can really make a serious difference.
What do you mean by that? You mean the government could do that? No.
I know, like I say, the NSA I don't think is the problem. The problem is all these corporations that are constantly influencing us.
Yeah, listen, if I was in a sensitive position, if I was running a company or I was running something, you're right. I don't want anybody to know personal stuff about me that could cost me my job or my position. That's absolutely true. Right. But if I'm going to be in a sensitive position like that, I had better not do anything. I mean, we've had this fucking idiot, this wiener guy, was showing his tits off or whatever he was doing, and his wife is second in command to Hillary fucking Clinton. That was and then he did it again. Then he fucking did it again. It's so fucking weird to me. And it's like, here is a guy, and he got caught within a matter of seconds, and not by any security force. He got caught by an internet whore in fucking Oregon or Ohio, wherever the fuck he hit on the wrong fucking whore. He was showing his bird chest to people. What the fuck was that?
Spitzer just did it all over again.
Who did?
Elliot Spitzer.
Oh,
did it all over.
Unbelievable. You know when somebody calls you and you haven't seen him in a while, but they were this wild piece of ass. That's exactly what it was. She's a Russian chick. Have you really ever known a Russian, especially a Russian woman? They're all wild pieces of ass, and they seem to be 2 or 3 rubles away from prostitution for some reason. All of them, every one of them. Okay, I'm not kidding you. And they all look like Donald Trump's wife.
Exactly.
Okay. By the way, what country is she from? Does anybody know?
I think she's Ukrainian, but I may be wrong.
She's an immigrant. Right? And he's going to throw everybody out of the country. How did she get her green card? How come nobody...
Well, she is.
Why don't somebody bring that shit up? I don't... You know, if I was running against him, I would just start all that shit about his wife and stuff. How about the first wife? She was another foreigner. He's not going to do... You know what he does to immigrants? He fucks them. He gets an immigrant, he bends her over a fucking chair, and he fucks them. That's what he does to immigrants. That would be the end of that fucking debate.
I
Hey, you know what, Donald? Why don't you marry an American once? It could be interesting. And by the way, the little model, Marla Maples, that you married from South Carolina, I don't even consider that in the United States. What do you think of that?
That's down under as well.
Or fucking Georgia, wherever the fuck she's from. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Let's go to Bill in San Diego. Yes, Bill, it's Jay Thomas. Bill, when you hear me yell like that and tell the man from Arkansas he's a complete zero, how does that make you feel when you hear that vitriol that comes up from the depths of my gut?
Well, you're obviously pretty upset about it.
Yeah. Very upset. I mean, you know what's so funny? I'm going to take one of those Prilosec that fat hunk of shit Larry the Cable Guy keeps taking rather than perhaps, hey, Larry, how about a salad? How about hey, Larry, how about a fucking salad and a piece of fruit, you fat fuck?
Oh, you don't mean that. He's a great
yes,
guy.
I do.
No, you don't. He's a great guy.
I do mean it. Stop it.
Nope, he's a great guy.
He causes people to eat and eat and eat. And wait a minute. And I consider him a friend, Christina.
Okay, thank you. Glad you read that there. All right.
Well, what I do know is
Larry has his own channel here that is for overeaters, but it's a good channel. I watch that commercial.
Family here
I look at that stuff sometimes and I think, Larry, please. And by the way, I want to be the spokesman for Nexium, and they won't accept me. I have acid reflux. Did you know that? And I eat really well, Christina. And I have to take those pills all the time. It's unbelievable to me. I don't ever... Doesn't Larry like to hold up a fried chicken leg sometimes? I never have a fried chicken leg, ever. Ever.
I'm sorry. Are you okay?
I guess booking Larry anytime is not going to happen, right?
Well, not
Christina?
if you're going to be mean about him.
Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. We're talking about someone that works here that I might have just gotten in trouble with, that's all. Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Bill.
Well, I just know it doesn't do you any good to get upset, so.
By the way, she is from Sevnica, Slovenia. Donald Trump's wife is from Slovenia, where they still have people in carts with fruits and vegetables going through the streets, ringing a bell.
Yeah, she's obviously mail order.
She's just like from the Borat movie.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, can I make 3
Hold it a
points?
second. Steve, you got to edit out that Larry the Cable Guy outburst.
Sure.
I lost my head for a minute. Hope no one's, and you know what I love about this? We've already had the emails that no one's listening because people use my material and no one knows where they got it from and they're dying laughing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bill. What is it?
First of all, your assertion that the government doesn't care is probably a little misleading because, after all, who is the government? The government is not who we think it is.
I wouldn't want to hear. Wait a second. Whose conversation? If you and I are in the government, whose conversation would you really want to hear?
Neither.
That's what I mean. We don't even have anybody. I mean, let's say right now we could start listening in. Who would you want to listen to right now, Christina? Who would you want to listen in on?
Who do I want to listen in on?
Yeah, we're the government, and now we can listen in. Who would you go listen to? Yes, what I mean. Putin. You'd want to hear Putin talking. We can't even think of anybody who we would hack into.
Castro's.
You want to hear Castro. But what American would you want to hear? What American phone call do you want to hear?
I mean, I'd like to hear the phone call between, Kanye and Kris Jenner after she, embarrasses her family or whatever. That's the kind of stuff I would like to hear. Like the
national security
I don't care
agency.
about Putin. I want to hear what Kim and Chris are talking about.
Really?
Yep.
What a great American.
God bless America, nowhere else.
Baby. Sirius XM Comedy Greats, Channel 94, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Sirius XM Comedy Channel.
Larry the Cable Guy.
This is Jeff Axworthy.
Larry's Comedy Round.
Yo, it's Jamie Foxx. This is my channel. Welcome to my world. Comedy Central Radio brings you the biggest names in comedy. You'll hear from the best stand-up comedy from Comedy Central's massive library. Laugh USA.
Clean comedy.
Oh, now that's funny.
Comedy.
Sirius XM's Comedy Club.
Comedy Great. Iconic comedians on Sirius XM.
Yeah, that's a good one. Sirius XM Comedy. Channels 94 to 99.
I want to put LOL after that.
Think about it. You've got some great photos on your phone, but what are you doing with them? If you don't have Free Prints yet, you've got to get it. Free Prints is the free 5-star app for iPhone and Android that lets you print all of those photos for free. You get 1,000 free 4x6 photo prints a year. All you pay is a small shipping and handling charge. You can even print photos at other sizes for next to nothing. Using the Free Prints app is easy. Just select the photos you want to print, whether they're on your phone or on Facebook or Instagram, choose the sizes, and you're done. Your premium quality free prints will arrive on your doorstep in just days. If you're still one of those people who hasn't discovered one of the world's favorite apps, download Free Prints now at freeprintsnow.com and start enjoying real professional quality free prints. The app is free and so are the prints. No subscriptions, no commitments, just free prints. Go to freeprintsnow.com to get the app and your 1,000 free prints. That's freeprintsnow.com.
I started drinking when I was 13, and alcohol eventually led to cocaine, ecstasy, and meth. The result was multiple brushes with the law, a fed-up family, and bleeding ulcers so bad that I couldn't eat or sleep. I was a bright kid with a lot of potential, but drug addiction had taken away everything that I valued. Finally, my loving grandmother had enough and gave me an ultimatum. Go to rehab or get out. And thank God she did. My life is so much better now. I'm a recovery advocate for the I Recover helpline, and I get to help people who are sick like I was. Alcohol and drug abuse destroys families, but there is a solution. I've seen firsthand how well I Recover works, and if you call now, we will pay for your flight to the newest I Recover treatment center in Palm Springs, California. My name is Thomas, and you can speak with me at 877-415-6764. That's 877-415-6764. Call 877-415-6764 or visit irecoverhelpline.com. That's irecoverhelpline.com.
Sunday is the birthday of the great Gilbert Gottfried.
An homeless, legless girl is laying on the beach. A man walks along. He goes, "What are you crying about?" She goes, "I'm crying because in my whole life I've never been fucked." So he picks her up, tosses her in the ocean, and goes, "You're fucked now!"
To celebrate, we're playing his comedy all day and his Unmasked with Ron Bennington at 6 p.m. Eastern. Happy birthday, Gilbert Gottfried. Sunday on Comedy Greats 94.
I'll just tell it to this side of the room.
You're listening to Comedy Greats on Sirius XM.
When you're a songwriter and the songs start coming really fast, you don't fight that. The rhythm is Spanish. There's a piano solo in the song. I don't do many piano solos.
There's something I do called banjo fingers, which I've done on a few songs.
I felt like I had come to the end of a book that I was writing. I want to do something else. The Billy Joel Channel, now extended through March 15th. Music, stories, memories. Sirius XM, Channel 18.
Why pay more than you have to for a hotel room? At GetARoom.com, we'll offer you lower rates than you can find anywhere else with our unpublished rate program. This is Bob Diener, president of GetARoom.com, and we have over 140,000 hotels worldwide on our site. Deals at the Avalon in New York City in the low $100 a night range. The Stratosphere in Las Vegas from $29.99. 50% off the Wyndham Lake Buena Vista in downtown Disney. The Astra in Miami Beach for 25% off. The Swiss Hotel in downtown Chicago for 15% off. The Palm Canyon Resort in Palm Springs from $100 a night. The Phoenix Park in Washington, D.C. for 15% off. The Adolphus in Dallas, 25% off. Ski deals in most major ski resorts. Deals all over the Caribbean. Go to GetARoom.com. That's GetARoom.com.
GetARoom.com. GetARoom.com. 1 in 5 teenagers will be diagnosed with mental illness this year. Let's change the narrative from one of stigma to one of hope.
I'm starting the conversation.
I'm fighting to end the stigma.
I'm posting about mental health.
We're socializing hope.
I like that.
Me gusta eso.
Help us mind the future. Let's tag it. Just tweet it.
Let's share it. Instagram it.
Let's snap it. Show us what you're doing to start the conversation and end the stigma.
Visit youtube.com/bringchangetomind to share your story. Together, we can bring change to mind.
You know your kids are smart, but did you know enrolling them in Kumon can make them even smarter? Like 10-year-old Christine.
I went to Johns Hopkins and I took a geometry class.
The Kumon method is designed to put your children ahead of their peers in math and reading.
I've been doing Kumon since I was 3.5 years old. Right now we're doing the Pythagorean theorem.
To learn more, visit Kumon.com and join us for a free parent orientation. That's Kumon.com. Kumon, where smart kids get smarter.
Hey, it's Jim Norton. I'm currently on my Mouthful of Shame tour. I'm hitting 35 cities, so go to JimNorton.com. Hold on, let me redo this because I fucking stink. Hey, it's Jim Norton on my Mouthful of Shame tour. Go to my website for tickets. Oh, I suck. Hey, it's JimNorton.com. Go to... I'm tired. Hey, it's Jim Norton.